Hello viewers, this is Pulse of Africa. Here I have a young visionary humanitarian worker from abroad. She spent her summer vacation time in giving different voluntary services in Ethiopia. I'm going to ask her what she has delivered in her time and also what she will do for the future. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Can you introduce yourself for the audience, please?
My name is Mariam. I'm 16 years old. I'm currently in the 11th grade and I live in Boston, Massachusetts in America. And something that a lot of people don't know about me is that my entire life I've been passionate about service and volunteering. When I was younger, I loved teaching other kids in my school, tutoring them subjects that they were struggling with, whether that was math, English, history, or science. And a big reason why I love volunteering so much is just because I love to see other people and to help other people with things that they're struggling with.
What inspired you to involve such a volunteerism work?
Besides my love for service, I love doing volunteer work and service for 3 other reasons. Number 1 is because of my religion and my church community. I really believe that as Christians, we're supposed to lend a helping hand to other people in our community who are less fortunate than we are. And my Boston church community has also raised us and taught us that we should always give back. And they taught us to live by the Bible verse, love thy neighbor before yourself. And I really live by that. And I try to implement it in my life in as many ways as I can. And number 2 is actually my parents and their journey. My parents immigrated to America with very little, and they had to navigate through many, many challenges and obstacles. And their perseverance through those obstacles really motivated me to give back to my roots and heritage, which is really important to me, is my roots and remembering where I came from. And number 3 is actually because of my future endeavors. Because of this trip and because of other experiences I've had, I have came to the conclusion that I want to be a psychiatrist when I'm older. And these experiences and the exposure that I have right now, learning from professionals, from other psychiatrists, from different doctors, and from even patients that I'm working with and volunteering for, have really motivated me to continue my path of psychiatry, and it's really helped me further my education. So that's also a really big part of my volunteer experience and why I'm doing everything that I'm doing today.
Can you tell us the organizations you supported and what they do?
Yes. So originally, my initial goal was to raise 450,000 Ethiopian birr, but since I was able to go above that goal, I raised 1.5 million Ethiopian birr instead. Initially, I was going to give this money to just Macedonia, the home for the elderly and mentally disabled, but I actually decided to expand with the money that I have, and I wanted to expand and donate to other organizations that are caring for mental health patients. So I'm giving 1 million Ethiopian birr to Macedonia, the home for the elderly and mentally disabled, as I said before, for medical expenses, for housing, care, and so on. I'm giving 100,000 to Hope for Gergesenon, for rehabilitating people with mental health disorders. Number 3, I'm giving 100,000 to the NIA Foundation for treating kids with autism and other developmental needs. Number 4, I'm giving 230,000 to the Ministry of Women and Social Affairs for underprivileged women and young girls who can't go to school because they don't have the necessary sanitary materials. So I want them to go to school with confidence, so I'm giving that money to them. I'm also giving 50,000 to the Deborah Foundation, who are also caring for kids with autism and developmental needs and disorders. Lastly, I'm giving 20,000 to students so that they can buy necessary materials such as pens, papers, backpacks, and etc.
Where do you get this money for these donations? What's your source?
I actually hosted several presentations in my local Boston area, and I presented these presentations to family, friends, and other members of the Boston community. And I also utilized social media. I know that social media is very controversial nowadays because it can have a negative effect on other young people, but when it comes to spreading awareness, I believe that it's a really big tool because it can reach a broad spectrum of people from different backgrounds. And that's how I was actually able to reach so many different people. I was able to reach people with different cultures, religions, through utilizing social media. So it was definitely also a really big tool that I used.
What do you learn from your experience in volunteer?
I learned so many different things. The number one thing that I learned is that kindness is universal and that doing little acts of service can really change someone's entire life. And I also learned about the importance of volunteering and giving back to your roots. I really believe that we should remember where we come from. So I really want to encourage other young people to get involved with their roots and giving back to their communities and where they're originally from. I also learned about the stigma around mental health in society, especially in Ethiopia, and I really want to spread awareness about it more through a research paper that I'm writing as well as an advocacy paper for my school, and I'm going to publish it in America, in my area. So those are the main things that I learned about.
That's very interesting. What's your plan for the future?
For the future, like I said before, I want to be a psychiatrist. So everything that I learned, the exposure, the experiences, the lessons I learned from doctors, from patients even, from professionals in general, have really motivated me to continue my path of psychiatry when I graduate. And in the future, like I said before, I also want to publish a research and advocacy paper about the topic mental health stigma in Ethiopia, because I want to spread awareness about the subject more. And I really encourage other people to talk about it compassionately and generously and be open to this idea.
Do you have a message especially for the young people?
Yes, my message for other young people is to be the change you want in today's society, no matter how young you are, how much you have, because no matter how young you are, you can always make a difference. And I also want to stress the importance of volunteering, especially giving back to where you come from. I really want to encourage other young people to get involved, as I said before, because it's more important now than ever. And I believe that if we all pitch in and all contribute, especially in America, we can really make a difference here.
Okay, at last, what can you say about Pulse of Africa at last?
I think that the message they're spreading is so inspiring, about how other Western societies see Africa in this negative light. I think that you guys are doing such a great job of spreading this message that Africa's beautiful and we shouldn't be putting it in such a negative light as seen in today's society.
I hope you have got a lot from this amazing young girl, from her experience in giving different voluntary services for her people. Thank you for watching.